Ladies and gentlemen, let me shock you with the truth. Nobody posts on Instagram. At 5 a.m., the world is divided into two groups. One group is hitting the snooze button like it owes them money. The other group is quietly building a life everyone else will later call lucky. And here's the crazy part. Both groups are using the same 24 hours, same clock, same sun, same planet, but totally different futures. Now let me tell you something funny. At 5 a.m., there are no traffic jams, no noisy group chats, no bro did you see this meme, no boss, no kids screaming, no neighbor drilling a wall for no reason. It's just you and your future. 5 a.m. is not early. 5 a.m. is exclusive. It's like a private gym for winners. Everyone can join, but most people don't show up. And the funniest excuse I always hear is, I'm not a morning person. That's like saying, I'm not a rich person, and going back to sleep. Nobody is born a morning person. They are made by goals that hurt. Let me give you a simple example. Two students, same college, same teacher, same exams. One wakes up at 8:30 a.m., rushes, skips breakfast, scrolls social media, shows up half asleep. The other wakes up at 5 a.m., studies quietly for 2 hours, exercises, eats, and then walks into class like a calm, confident lion. Guess who feels lucky at the end of the year? Now you might think, okay, that's students. Let me talk about famous people. Tim Cook, the CEO of Apple, wakes up around 4 a.m. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is in the gym before most people even find their socks. Michelle Obama talks about waking up before the world to train her body and mind. You think they do this because they're bored? No. They wake up early because that hour gives them an unfair advantage. See, 5 a.m. is not about being tired. It's about being ahead. While others are snoring, you are sharpening. While the world is quiet, your mind becomes loud with ideas. And don't worry, I'm not saying you should wake up and become a monk. At 5 a.m., you don't have to be perfect. You just have to show up. Let me tell you a very real story. I once met a young guy, Ahmad, running a tiny food stall. He was making just enough to survive. Nothing fancy, no big dreams, or at least that's what it looked like. But here's the secret. Every morning at 5 a.m., he was already awake watching business videos, learning how to manage money, practicing English, writing down ideas. During the day, he sold food. At night, he was tired. But at 5 a.m., he was building his future. 5 years later, he didn't have a stall anymore. He had restaurants. Nobody saw the 5 a.m. work. They only saw the overnight success. And let me be honest with you. Waking up at 5 a.m. feels terrible. For the first few days, your bed will talk to you. It will say, just 5 more minutes. You deserve rest. Your bed is a professional liar. Because 5 more minutes turns into 5 more years. Now let me tell you the real magic of 5 a.m. It's not the time. It's what happens to your identity. When you wake up early, you send a message to yourself. I am in control. Not my boss, not my phone, not my excuses, me. And once your brain starts believing that, everything changes. You stop feeling like a victim. You start acting like someone who expects to win. Let me give you one more example. A struggling entrepreneur wakes up late, checks emails, sees bills, sees problems, gets stressed. A 5 a.m. entrepreneur wakes up early, reads, plans, exercises, visualizes. By the time problems show up, their mind is already strong. Same problems, different mindset. That's what 5 a.m. gives you. Mental armor. And here's the funny part. You don't even need to wake up at 5 a.m. forever. But you need it long enough to prove to yourself that you can do hard things. Because once you master your morning, you start mastering your life. You know what's crazy about the 5 a.m. mindset? It's not just about waking up early. It's about escaping the noise. Because most people don't fail from lack of talent. They fail from too much distraction. At 5 a.m., nobody is calling you. It's just you and a blank page. And that blank page is dangerous in a good way. Because when the world is quiet, your real thoughts get loud. Let me explain it in a simple way. During the day, your brain is like a busy airport. Notifications landing, people taking off, thoughts crashing into each other. At 5 a.m., that airport is empty. And in that silence, something magical happens. You start hearing the voice that says, this is what I really want. Not what society wants. Not what your parents want. Not what Instagram wants. What you want. I know a woman, Alina, who was stuck in a job she hated for 12 years. Every morning she woke up just in time to rush to work. One day she started waking up at 5 a.m., to write. Just 45 minutes a day. No one knew, no applause, no likes. 2 years later, she published a book. It sold millions. People asked, where did this come from? It came from 5 a.m. mornings when nobody was watching. Think about famous people for a second. Kobe Bryant used to train at 4 or 5 a.m., not because he loved pain, but because he loved being prepared when everyone else wasn't. He once said that when others walked into the gym, he already had hours of work done. That's not motivation. That's positioning. And here's what most people don't realize. The morning decides the mood of your entire day. Wake up late and rushed, you feel behind all day. Wake up early and calm, you feel in control all day. It's like steering a ship. If the first direction is wrong, the whole journey is off. Let me give you a funny but painful example. Have you ever woken up late and the whole day feels cursed? You spill coffee. You miss messages. You forget things. You feel angry for no reason. That's not bad luck. That's a bad morning. Now imagine waking up before the chaos. You stretch. You breathe. You think. You move. Your mind becomes quiet, sharp, focused. Problems don't scare you. They become puzzles. And that is the 5 a.m. advantage. Let me tell you about a friend who wanted to start a YouTube channel, but never had time. Work all day. Family at night. Always tired. So he made one small decision. He woke up at 5 a.m. and filmed for 30 minutes before anyone else woke up. No pressure. No distractions. No excuses. 2 years later, that channel paid his rent. Nobody saw the early mornings. They only saw the success. That's always how it works. People celebrate the finish line. They ignore the alarm clock. Let me tell you the real reason the 5 a.m. mindset changes everything. It's not because of the time. It's because of what it does to your discipline muscle. Discipline is like going to the gym. The first day hurts. The second day hurts. The third day still hurts. But after a while, you become strong. Waking up at 5 a.m. is one of the hardest small habits you can build. And that's why it works. Because once you can control your bed, you can control your life. Most people lose the day before it even starts. Their alarm rings, they negotiate with it, 5 more minutes, 10 more minutes, I deserve rest. That little negotiation teaches your brain one dangerous thing. My feelings are in charge. But successful people don't live by feelings. They live by commitments. Let me give you a simple example. A student says, I don't feel like studying. A 5 a.m. student says, I study anyway. An entrepreneur says, I'm tired. A 5 a.m. entrepreneur says, I'm building anyway. Over time, that difference becomes massive. And this is why famous athletes and leaders are obsessed with mornings. Michael Jordan used to train when others were resting. Elon Musk talks about brutal schedules and early starts. Oprah built her empire by controlling her mornings, not her moods. They didn't wake up early because it was easy. They woke up early because it was hard. And hard things build strong people. Here's what happens when you wake up at 5 a.m. for 30 days. You stop procrastinating. You stop overthinking. You stop waiting for motivation. You become a person who acts. And that is dangerous to mediocrity. Let me tell you about a guy I know who wanted to lose weight and start a business. 2 big goals. He kept failing. One small change fixed both. He started waking up at 5 a.m. He worked out for 30 minutes, then worked on his business for 30 minutes. That's just 1 hour a day. 1 year later, he lost 25 kilos. And his side business became his full-time income. People said, wow, you're so disciplined. No, he just stopped negotiating with his alarm. And here's the funniest part. You don't need willpower at 5 a.m. because nobody is awake to tempt you. No friends inviting you out. No Netflix autoplay. No social media drama. It's just you and your goal. That's why it's so powerful. The 5 a.m. mindset removes distractions so discipline can grow. And once discipline grows, everything else follows. Your confidence increases, your self-respect increases, your results increase, because every morning you keep a promise to yourself, and when you keep promises to yourself, you become unstoppable. So remember this, you don't need more motivation. You need fewer excuses and an earlier alarm. Here's something nobody tells you about the 5 a.m. mindset. It doesn't just change what you do. It changes who you believe you are. And that is the most powerful upgrade on earth. See, most people secretly think, I'm just not that type of person. Not the disciplined one. Not the confident one. Not the successful one. So they act small. But when you wake up at 5 a.m., something strange happens. You start doing what most people won't. and your brain goes, wait, maybe I'm different. That small shift in identity is everything. Let me give you a simple story. I knew a shy girl, Mariam, who was scared to speak in meetings, always quiet, always doubting herself. She started waking up at 5 a.m. to read and practice speaking out loud. Just 20 minutes every morning. No one knew. 6 months later, she was leading presentations. What changed? Not her job, not her company, her mornings. Because when you work on yourself in secret, the world notices in public. Think about famous people again. Serena Williams didn't become a champion because of trophies. She became a champion because of what she did when no cameras were around. Warren Buffett reads for hours every morning. Not because he's bored, but because that habit built the mind that built the billions. Success is not built on stages, it's built in silence. And 5 a.m. is the most powerful silence of all. Now let me be honest. Some mornings you will wake up and feel like quitting. That's when the real magic happens. Because every time you get up anyway, you vote for a better version of yourself. You say, I am not lazy. I am not weak. I am not average. I am someone who shows up. And after enough votes, that becomes your identity. You don't say, I try to be disciplined. You say, I am disciplined. You don't say, I want to be successful. You say, I am building success. That mindset changes how you walk, talk, and decide. Let me give you one more example. A guy, Liam, wants to start a business, but feels like a nobody. He wakes up at 5 a.m. every day to learn, plan, and improve. After a year, he doesn't just have a business. He has the confidence of a business owner. And confidence is more valuable than money, because money can be lost. Identity cannot. So if you want to upgrade your life, don't start with big goals. Start with a small alarm. Because waking up early is not about time. It's about telling yourself, I matter. My future matters. My dreams are worth getting out of bed for. The 5 a.m. mindset is not just a habit. It's a decision about the kind of life you want. You can live a loud life or a powerful one. Loud is scrolling. Loud is complaining. Loud is talking about dreams. Powerful is quiet. Powerful is focused. Powerful is waking up when nobody is clapping. At 5 a.m., there are no likes, no comments, no applause, just progress. And that's why most people never do it. They need someone to see them. But the winners, they are okay being invisible for a while, because they know something. If you build in silence, you will shine in noise. Let me tell you a simple truth. Your future is not created by big moments. It's created by small mornings. One early alarm, one focused hour, one honest effort, repeated, that's it. You don't need a new city. You don't need new people. You don't need a miracle. You need a morning that belongs to you. Look at any successful person. Behind their confidence, behind their money, behind their reputation, there is a routine nobody talks about. They won before the world woke up. So, starting tomorrow, don't think of 5 a.m. as early. Think of it as your private power hour. That hour where you read instead of scroll, move instead of snooze, plan instead of panic, build instead of beg. And even if you fail some days, even if you oversleep, come back, because consistency beats perfection every time. One day, people will ask you, how did you become so disciplined? How did you get so focused? How did you build this life? And you will smile, because the answer was simple. You decided to wake up. Thank you for listening, and don't forget to like and subscribe, my friends.